is chaos. Its corrupting, changing taint despoils all before it. Only the strongest will endure.
Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer guide. Today we are looking at the heavy metalers of the Chaos Army. It is the Sorcerer and the Sorcerer Lord in the Chaos, in the metal magic. There's three types of magic that the Chaos can use: metal, death and fire. They all have their uses. We've so far looked at death and fire. I do like fire just because I'm old school. I like fireballs. So we've got the Chaos. You've got two different varieties, two different flavours of metal wizards or sorcerers. The Lord and the normal sorcerer. There's only a very slight difference between the two, so we'll go through that quickly. So they're both spellcasters, and unusually for wizards or sorcerers, they are armoured. They both have 100 armour, which is spectacular. Good leadership at 60, decent amount of damage. Their weapon strength is 315, very nice. They've got no real good charge bonus, but you know, it's a wizard after all with a big stick. The difference between that and the Lord is that the Lord has just slightly upgraded, a couple of hundred more hit points, slightly better defense, slightly better charge, and the major difference is there's one large spell different. So let's have a look at the Sorcerer Lord before we go through his spells. He's got missile resistance, as all individual characters have. He can also encourage troops a boost to their leadership of all nearby troops. He can hide in the forest, and the first spell he's got is called Metal Shifting, and it's constant, so it's like a passive. It is around himself. It's map wide range, and it's plus 4% armor piercing damage. Very, very nice. So everybody in your army is plus 4 piercing damage, just out the gate. So if this metal would probably be my choice if you're fighting a lot of heavily armoured armies, because instantly you're having a better job against them. So next up we've got a Searing Tomb, which is almost like a meteor shower. It's a bombardment. You choose a target on the ground 200 meters, up to 200 meters away, and it does damage against larger units. So this is the sort of spell you use as the big enemy line is closing. Lasts for 9 seconds, does a lot of damage. It also disrupts the line because they have to stop, go around it. It's really good in choke points as well, like something like that. Next up we've got Final Transmutation, which is a direct damage, and it's an instant, which is very unusual for magic. You can hit target the ground or a specific enemy unit, and it affects all enemy units within 30 meters. And basically the biggest thing for this is it's like your assassination tool. It's the one you go after characters, heroes, like enemy wizards are particularly, like, especially if you're fighting Empire, use this against wizards, because wizards are much wussier, that is a technical term, than the Chaos Sorcerers, so you can do a ton of damage. But also any enemy heroes it does a decent amount of damage too. It's useless against like large units and stuff, but we have other stuff for that. Then we've got Gehenna's Golden Hounds, which is a vortex spell, casts on the ground, 150 meter range, and it doesn't do too much damage, but it disrupts enemy lines like we said before. It moves randomly after you've cast it, so don't cast it too near to yourself, because I've done that so many times in the tabletop game you wouldn't believe. Next up we've got Glittering Robe. It's an augment spell, lasts for 24 seconds, and it's basically just a boost to one unit, plus leadership and plus armor. It's kind of simple. Next up we've got Plague of Rust. This is really good. Again, this is why I like these wizards against heavily armored armies, because it has a hex on an enemy unit within 200 meters, and it's minus 15 armor. So along with minus 15 armor and the bonus to your armor piercing, you're just golden, really. Next up we've got Transmutation of Lead, which is a hex spell that instantly affects another instant. It lasts 29 seconds, a really good buff duration, and it affects the enemy unit you cast it on plus any within 30 meters, and it decreases their weapon damage and their attack, so it just blunts them really. So this is really good if you're just about to, the two big lines, battle lines are about to clash. Just go, here you go, have a debuff. You're now rubbish in combat, and we do loads of armor piercing damage. Lastly, and this is the difference between the two, the normal sorcerer has the Arcane Conduit, which is basically just a spell that increases power, recharge rate, and power reserves. Power is what you use to cast your spells. Each spell on the top right there has a... So this one costs 12 to cast. We've got 20 in the bank here, and it recharges over time. So that's basically just means you can cast more spells. So the Sorcerer Lord has all the same spells, except the difference is he has, instead of that boost there to power, he's got stand or die, which is your standard sort of general of the army spell, which basically cast it on yourself, all allies within 40 meters, gives them melee defense, leadership, and attack. Lovely. And it lasts for 11 seconds. So, as I said, just as the sort of two battle lines meet, that's when you really want to go for that sort of spell. So, unlike most wizards, where I'd say basically count them as artillery pieces, the Chaos Wizards are basic artillery pieces, firing out their spells and doing all that goodness, but they can be used in combat. You wouldn't send them in first or on their own, but you can just use them to give you that edge in combat. They're still very fighty and they've got 100 armour. Especially the general, I definitely keep the general of the sort of the lords with the main battle force because of that stand or die. It's so powerful when you get into combat. So let's see what we're going to cast. So we're going to go for a bombardment spell. I'm just going to cast it just here, just because that's the max range. Just so we can see it really. There we go. So this indicator shows it's about to happen. The enemy can see this, so it gives them a little chance to get out of the way. But as you can see, a lot of damage. And even if you didn't hit them, they would have to go round it. It would be awkward. What about the golden hounds? Should we get a bit closer for this one? Actually try and hit something. Right, come on, boys. Come over here. Are they just standing there waiting? Because they've got like a tiny bit of high ground? Yes, they are. They're just standing there. Yeah, you know the bad thing about standing there, mates? You just get spells cast at your face, don't you? Right, so we're going to go... What should we do? What shall we do? Should we go for the Searing Tomb again? Are we in range? Oh, yes. So the enemy does see it, so it's not happened yet. The enemy's seen it. Now the enemy's like, shit, shit, shit. So you have to kind of guess a little bit more where they're going to be. He's still going to do a little bit of damage. But like I said, it's really good in choke points, areas where you just don't want them to get through. What should we do? The Vortex spell? Yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on. So this is the Golden Hounds. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So we'll just do the Plague of Rust. Why not? Why not? Just to see its effects. Look at that. That is amazing. But like I said, so this is the debuff. So they now have minus 15 armor. You could then charge them with a unit. We're going to give our little dude a glittering robe. But yeah, I'm having a glittering robe myself. Yeah. As I said, you can use them in combat, but don't go alone, because they will eventually get bogged down. They don't do a massive amount of splash damage and hit loads of troops. Only really on the charge is that they do damage. Sorry, Mr. Other Wizard. I'm going to cast right into your face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But needs must. We're chaos after all. Oh, he's even charging into his own spell. That's how hard he is. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed our little guide to metal magic. I think this is the best one to use against, like I said, heavily armoured armies, basically. If you're playing skirmish battles with your friends and stuff like that, then and if they're running tons of Black Orcs or something like that, or Reiksguard Knights, all the big heavily armoured troops in the game, this is perfect magic for that. Other than that, I probably, as a sort of good all-round guide, I'd go with fire. I think is probably I just like fireballs. I'm sorry, I'm simpleton. I like fireballs. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed my little mini guide to the Chaos Sorcerers. Please check out my other videos, doing lots of different guides. Hit that like video and subscribe if you're new to the place, and leave a comment saying hello, because that'd be nice. I'll come say hello back and we'll be friends forever. Bye bye.